Patch day, greatest day. Let's go. Patch 2.03. No hello. No thank you for testing the PTR. Goddamn. Game servers. Custom game lobby advertisements now properly timeout 15 minutes after the most recent player has joined or left. The timer resets every time a player joins or leaves. There were some issues with dead lobbies that never disappeared. Fixed an issue where players with classic keys were having licensing problems. We've seen that a couple of times. Fixed an issue where custom game invites were not working properly. Nice, that's fixed. Added a countdown timer to the UI for constructing and training. That is super awesome and we love it. Control C. Now camera tracks a selected unit instead of jumping to the location! Yes! Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You have no clue how awesome that is for me personally. You will probably never know that and never use it. But I will be happy and I will test this right away. That's how important this is to me. Come on. Come on. Please, please, please work. Work, 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 work. This will save me so much. Come on. I don't even know how to explain that to you.
What do you want?
Oh, it does work. Ah, but if you tap it. Okay. And then you tap it again. And then it stops. Oh my god. Yes. Can I click on stuff? No, when I... Okay, that is only for the selected unit. Oh, that's so cool for observing. This worked before too. Nope. I did that so many times. When you did it before, it was like this. This worked in TFT or something. But if you did it in Reforged, it didn't track. Like it doesn't... Like now it tracks, right? You hit and it follows, like arms off. If you did it in Reforged, it was always jumping to that unit. And then... It looked like, I don't know. If you have epilepsy, it's not good for you. I did this so many times, Francis. You can't tell me. You need to hold both. Yeah, I tried. It jumped, it jumped, it jumped, it jumped, it jumped. Always. It was so unsmooth. Alt-C. I mean, this is awesome, man. I love this. Wait, I can't right-click on the minimap. Oh, no! Here it works. But if I take this... Now it does work. You saw it didn't work, right? If I have this selected... And I set it to follow that unit, I can't click on the minimap. But if I have Alt-C not... If this is not the mode the unit is in... I can't click on the minimap. That's not great. You know, that's a feature you might want to put on PTR. Well, still, I love it. I love it. I love it. This is awesome. I love it. Fixed an issue where some triggers would sometimes not be saved correctly. Existing save games might not have this issue, but any new ones, okay. Fixed an issue where going into a single player custom game would sometimes put you in a multiplayer lobby. That was very annoying. And it's glad that it's apparently fixed. It still happened on PTR. I wonder if it's consistently fixed on live. Performance. Optimized AI functions for finding build locations. So if you play against a computer opponent, it should build better. The buildings, that is. I have no idea that makes any really. Optimized heavy particle counts on some Reforged graphics. Improved performance for rendering terrain. That is, for now, working fine. Updated Reforged shaders. Players should see improved intensity of shadows and lightning. I like this so far. Based on feedback, we've lowered the brightness of units in portrait and classic HD graphics. That is very cool so far. Replace the classic menu and campaign WebM background with the MDL original rendered renders. Very, very cool, except the fog. Environment classic HD reforged toggles no longer control gold mines and fountains. The buildings toggle now control. Oh. Oh. I think I like that. That is awesome because the gold mines look like shit. Cool. I like it. That means... What does that mean? That I have my classic fountain in classic HD with the reforged terrain.
What do you want?
Right? Yes. Nice. I didn't even notice, man. We looked at the gold mine and we didn't even notice. Nice. This is very good. I like this. This is a good change. Fixed certain VFX appearing as white squares. Yep, that was introduced in PTR, I think. Tree idle animation now enabled in reforged environment. I don't really know what that means. It's reforged environment. I don't really care. Added options for ambient occlusion and bloom. Note that these settings will lower performance with 4K. That is nice to have as options. Fixed an issue where units with transparency were less transparent when in water. Fixed an issue where custom unit ports were incorrectly inheriting a portrait. This is huge for Legion TD. Fixed for custom skins showing their base icons. Fixed an issue where units would sometimes be invisible after loading a save game. Huge for campaign. Huge for campaign. Nice fixes. Nice fixes. Fixed an issue where map music would sometimes continue playing. This is something Witty encountered a lot. Both of it, especially with save games. World Editor increased doodad limit from 30,000 to 130,000. Whoa. Okay. Increase the draw distance in the World Editor. Okay. Custom campaign mission backgrounds. Okay. What the hell? That's a lot more than it was on PTR. The following changes affect many natives and fields and are an attempt to fix some broader systems instead of individual bugs. Please report any bugs. Fix dozens of broken set ability natives. Now attempt to forcibly refresh the ability data so changes are reflected. For example, Orb of Fire now has its damage bonus properly updated due to this change. That's something they talked about for a long time. Holy shit, where is this coming from? Oh, I need to deep dive into this, man, and ask the Hype Workshop people. Oh, maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. The following features can now be found under map options. Added the ability to force players to use a specific zoom level. Maybe this is set to the default maps and it's using a default zoom level, and this is why we can't zoom out. Because the ancient maps have this default zoom level set to everything. How does that sound? Detective Neo is getting to the bottom of this. Ha 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 ha! There we go, boys. There we go. I'm opening a War 3 Champions map. This is more zoomed out, but I can't zoom. I can zoom in, but then I can't zoom out anymore. And this is a War 3 Champions map. Nah. Nah, not, I can't zoom out. Nope, I can't zoom out. Nope. Campaign maps are stuck too. Yeah, that's not great. Okay. Well, they have something to work on today, that's for sure. Okay. Hotkeys. Significantly increase the amount of bindable keys. Nice. Added new bindable commands for menu, game, replay, and observer commands. Nice. Added a conflict section. That is nice. Added support for non-QWERTY, non-English keyboard layouts. That is so awesome for Frenchies and Germans and whoever else. Removed hotkeys for passives. That's nice. Unlinked peasant militia. Nice. Change the ordering of mercenaries so that it's possible to assign QWER. Nice. This is all nice. This is also nice. Nice. If it, I think there's surely bugs. This is another week of Soul 8-man testing. There's surely bugs. Added a Makrura Snapper portrait is still the greatest thing they've done. Fixed an issue with arranged team badges. Okay. Fixed an issue with MMR and level not displayed on loading screens. Okay. Fixed an issue with placement matches displayed incorrectly in the post-game screen. Nice. Added MMR data to solo and arranged team badges. That's cool. Adjustments were made to how MMR gains and losses are calculated. Players have a hidden stat that's called variance. The higher the variance, the bigger the MMR swings. When a player starts their placement matches, they have a high variance. After many games, the variance bottoms out. In team games, the current system adds every player's MMR and variance together. For example, in a 2-on-2 game, where one side is a 4,500 arranged team and the other is a 4,000 and 4,200 rated random team, the system views it as a 9,000 MMR side against an 8,200 MMR side. We are changing this so that instead of taking the sum, the system now takes the average MMR and variance. So now the system... Okay, I have no idea if that's good or not. I have no idea if this is good or not. I have no idea if it should be done that way or not. I don't really care about that either. I leave this to other people who are more invested. In addition to the above change, we also double all MMR gains and losses. If you double all MMR gains and losses, you basically don't change anything, do you? It's just a number that's bigger. We are hoping these changes reduce the occurrence of extreme MMR gains and losses in some situations, while also spreading out the distribution of MMR. The team will continue to monitor this and make adjustments. I love these patch notes, by the way. Why are you doing this? Do you think this is perfect? I love this. I love this. I love this. Balance. All attack with a ground effect or effect attack have the ward unit type added to their list of area of effect targets. So, siege damage affects them, burning oil affects them. Piercing damage against heavy is changed from 100 to 90. Sick. Mountain King Bash will now be able to stun magic immune units when attacking with an orb. RIP Destroyer. Pulverize can target wards. Burning oil can target wards. Nice. Wards were hard to target. Wisp Lumber gather rate decreased. That should be an 8, right? No, from 7 to 7.5. Oh, no more infinite lumber for the elves, boys. Look at that. They changed it from 8 to 7 last patch, and now we meet each other in the middle. That might lead to Night Elves being a little more careful with their wisps. Archer health increased. Pick up Archer, Mount, Hippogriff, and Dismount cooldowns decreased from 30 to 5. Very interesting. Hippo Rider increased to 800. Huntress Glaives no longer bounce. To and from structures. We heard that before. Instead, upgrade time from 60 to 50. But the movement speed is not buffed. The Huntress movement speed on PTR 3 was increased by something. And that is not in the patch. They removed that. I don't understand the glaive change. Seems like a random thing to do. Was it really a balance issue? Mr. Ruigan, guys, you have to watch more Back to Warcraft Neocasts because I hated that interaction. Example. You have 8 Huntress. You walk into an orc base. You click on the main base. The orc is trying to repair. He gets the peons close to the Great Hall. The bouncy glaives are jumping from the Great Hall to the repairing workers, and you might hold, but you lose your entire economy, plus the gold you have to use to repair, and then you have to rebuild all the peons because they're all dead. That has been used many, many, many times. It's been plaguing a lot of pro games in like 2020. It's been plaguing the ladder since the Huntress got their heavy armor, and it is insanely toxic, and I hated it. And I'm very pleased that this is removed. I know that a lot of other people don't like that this is gone. I'm a big fan, and I'm alright by standing more or less alone. And we move on. Undead. Units resurrected by Animate dead now have access to their abilities they had when they were alive. So, resurrected priests can heal. Resurrected shaman can purge and cast bloodlust for the time they are on the field. Some abilities require too much mana because caster units don't come with full mana. That prevents something like Cyclone and Possession. So you can't cast everything, but it gives a little bit of value to a crap ultimate that is Animate dead, and I like that. Lich Nova raise increased from 700 to 750. To be honest, I don't know if that's necessary. Gargoyle prioritize now toggles properly when in a group. Oh my god, we're gonna see so many gargoyles. How do I explain this? If to anybody who has never played gargoyles undead unit, obviously, they have an ability that's called prioritize, and with that you can set if an A click is supposed to attack ground units or air units. But let's say you have 2 gargoyles and one is set to prioritize ground and one is set to prioritize air. Then you select them both in a group and you hit the icon for prioritize. Then they don't align to all attack ground or all attack air, but they flip. So the one that was on attack air is now on attack ground, and the one who was on attack ground is now on attack air. If this works properly, this will streamline this. And I wanted this for 4 years, and it's amazing. Good, cool surprises. This is great. Cleave can now target wards. Nice. Life drain. Mana cost halved. That's mental. We'll see. I would love to see more Life Drain, man. It's a cool ability. Dark Ranger Life Drain self-damage type changed from magic to universal. This will allow Life Drain to continue to transfer while the caster is magic immune. That was an issue with anti-magic potion and maybe invul potion. I'm not sure. Tinker Pocket Factory spawn interval decreased by 0.5 on level 1 and 2. On level 0 engineering. And 1 and 2, but not on 3. Okay, that's cool. Cluster Rocket's max damage per interval increased by almost doubled, but it's max damage, so you... Oh! Oh, they explained this! They explain changes, guys. Cluster rockets contain 4 damage intervals, so if a unit stays in the area for the whole duration of the spell, it will take 4 instances of damage. This change increases the max damage that can be spread across multiple units per interval. Nice. Nice. I like it. So this doesn't affect the individual target, but it affects how many units it can hit. For example, clumped up gargoyles. Breath of Fire, the panda. Level 1 increased. Level 2 minimally increased. Oh, level 3 also. Interesting. Breath of Fire max damage increased by 120, 100, and this stays the same. Okay. Initial area from 25 to 60. Those are the PTR values, right? So these seem very fine. It doesn't have that huge cone anymore. That's also mega long, but it's more like condensed. Previously, Breath of Fire could hit units that were significantly farther away than the visuals of the spell suggested. These changes make it so that the area of the effect are brought in line with the visuals, more or less. The area of effect parameter controls the initial width of the breath, while the final area of the effect controls the radius at the tail end of the spell. To compensate for the nerf to range, overall damage has been increased. I am very excited for this change. Plus also more damage over time. And fixes to some creeps. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue with Tinker stacking the effects of regeneration. We've seen that in Direct Strike especially. Robo Form and Ring of Regeneration or Health Stones led to absurd health regeneration. Fixed an issue where Demon Hunter Immolation would continue to drain mana when turned off if Immolation is leveled during Hex. Happened. Good that it's fixed. Units that are hexed will no longer have a short window where their item bonuses do not apply to them. I really thought that's intended and it's all the time, but apparently it was just a short window. Orb effects will now properly proc when units auto-acquiring targets. That's really cool for Orc especially, I think. Because the Orb of Lightning never procced, and I guess also Orb of Slow. Orb of Slow and Lightning will now function properly if bought while silenced. That was a weird bug that we discovered recently. Carson sent a picture. Carson sent a picture of his Zoom. His Zoom was stuck like this. That's amazing. That is phenomenal. Here you, by the way, see a floor with tiles that they're... It's very noticeable how they're pierced together. Okay. Summary of the evening. We got a patch. The patch was borked. We had a big zoom in. We had imba or underpowered bears. Depends on your RNG. We got some cool stuff that wasn't there before. Like prioritize of gargoyles fixed and stuff. Control C is massive for me. To follow a selected unit. Like for casting in general. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I freaking love it. And lumber harvesting down from 7 to 7.5. That is interesting. Wonder if the Night Elves are up in arms already. And no Hunter's speed boost. Yeah, it's some cool stuff. It's some cool stuff. And of course, like the 10% change from piercing to heavy armor, that will have to be observed once the game is live again. We did a wonderful coverage of this patch launch. Never stream on patch day, everybody, but it was quite fun, man. I just let them cook. Let them cook. Let them fix it. When it's broken, you gotta fix it, or whatever the verbiage was. As a last statement here, I rather have them update all this stuff and fix things that were broken for a decade or longer and fail trying the first time than them never fixing them, never addressing them. I like this a million times more, even though we had like a patch evening ruined or whatever. But if this is all fixed at some point, and the game is running, of course, as intended, this will be for the better for all of us. So I like that they're somewhat brave. It could have been on PTR, of course, but maybe there's some company shit in the back that we don't know about, like time frames for a certain game. So cut them some slack. These guys are really freaking trying, and they show, especially this patch iteration 2.03, that they're connected with the community, that they know what's up and what's necessary, and bring some cool stuff, and they're listening. And now one fuck up, whatever. So GG, I think this one F up shouldn't overshadow how much good is in this patch. So that's for now the conclusion. And we had a little bit of fun. Like, come on, what more do you want from a patch? Let's just wait a day, and then it might be fixed or something. They're probably working on this like crazy. So, yeah. Good luck, Blizzard. Good luck.